Welcome, everyone. We are exploring automotive icons over on Vintage Noise today, and we're zoning in on a stunning piece of mid-century design, the Mercedes-Benz W113.
Ah, yes, the W113. It's such an interesting car because it had a really tough job, didn't it? It replaced two major SL models, the big 300 SL Gullwing and the much more accessible 190 SL.
Right, two very different cars to follow, and this one, produced from 63 through 71, it needed to be sporty, elegant, but also kind of reachable.
Exactly, and its defining feature, the one everyone knows, is that unique hardtop. Slightly concave, removable. It earned it that instant nickname, the Pagoda.
The Pagoda, yeah. So our mission today, for you listening, is to understand how this car managed to blend that high performance and effortless style with something pretty radical for a 1960s sports car. Serious occupant safety. They built, what, around 48,912 total?
That's the number. And yeah, when people see a W113, the first thing they register is usually the style. Paul Bracq's design work, helped by W113, of course. It's low, wide.
Those upright Bosch fishbowl headlights are just unmistakable, aren't they? Flanking that simple chrome grille with the huge three-pointed star. Pure 60s cool.
It really is. And lightweight aluminum was used quite a bit too. Bonnet, boot lid, door skins, even the tonneau cover. Trying to keep the weight down.
But that famous Pagoda roofline, it wasn't just a styling choice, was it? There was engineering behind that specific shape.
Oh, definitely not just style. While it looks great, that inward curve was engineered for strength. It provides better structural integrity, especially in a rollover scenario.
Oh, okay.
And it also allowed for thinner roof pillars, which means, better visibility for the driver. That's a safety feature people often forget about.
And that brings us nicely to the safety revolution this car represented, largely thanks to W113. You mentioned him, the safety body concept. For a sports car back then, that sounds pretty groundbreaking.
It absolutely was. It was a total revolution, really. And the foundation for it, interestingly, came from their sedans. The W113 was actually based on the W111 sedan platform.
The big fin-tail sedan, so they took that structure.
Essentially, yes. It meant the W113 was the first sports car designed from the ground up with designated crumple zones front and rear surrounding a really rigid passenger cell, just like the sedans.
Wow. Taking a safety structure from a big luxury car and putting a Roadster body on it. That must have presented some challenges. Weight, stiffness for handling.
Oh, absolutely. Big challenges. But it just shows how committed Mercedes was, even back then, to making safety a standard feature across the range, even if it meant more engineering work, more complexity.
So the goal wasn't just speed, it was safe speed.
Precisely. The Pagoda was engineered to be perhaps not the absolute fastest, but certainly a very safe, fast car. And that commitment went right inside the cabin, too.
Right, the interior details. It wasn't just about the frame surviving a crash.
No, they called it rounding the interior. They systematically removed hard corners, sharp edges, protruding knobs, dash, door panels. They were padded or designed to yield on impact way before others were doing it as standard.
And the steering column. That was often a huge hazard in front impacts back then.
A major hazard. So they engineered the W113's column to be angled using universal joints, so it would deform away from the driver in a crash, not towards them, designed specifically to prevent impalement.
Incredible foresight.
And later models even got an updated collapsible telescopic steering column. Just shows that constant push for safety improvement. It was real engineering focus, not just about cutting costs.
Okay, so we've got the core philosophy. Beautiful design, strong structure, groundbreaking safety. Now let's look under the bonnet, because the W113 wasn't just one car, was it? It evolved through three main models.
Yeah, it did. A pretty rapid evolution, actually, responding to performance needs and market feedback. It starts with the 230 SL. That ran from 1963 to 67.
This is the original, the one that had to establish the Pagoda name, step out from the shadow of the 300 SL.
Exactly. It launched with a 2.3-liter inline-six, the M127-I engine, putting out about 150 PS. And it already had a dual-circuit brake system, another safety point with disc brakes up front, and power-assisted drums at the rear.
Still sporty, though, despite the safety and comfort focus.
Oh, yes. The chief engineer, Rudolf Uhlenhaut, made sure of that. He famously took a 230 SL around a track and clocked a lap time nearly matching a contemporary V12 Ferrari 250 GT.
Seriously. A Ferrari.
Seriously, it was a statement. This car handles like a proper sports car, but it's also comfortable and safe. That was the message.
Okay, then we get to the transition model, the 250 SL. Ran for a really short time, didn't it? Late 66 to early 68.
Just over a year, yeah. Makes it the rarest of the bunch, only about 5,200 made. The The main change here was addressing a slight weakness in the 230.
Which was?
Torque, really, and braking under pressure. They upped the engine to 2.5 liters, the M129.5. Didn't add much peak power, but significantly boosted the torque, making it feel more flexible, easier to drive smoothly.
But the big technical jump wasn't really the engine, it was the brakes.
Yeah, absolutely. This was huge for performance driving. The 250 SL introduced disc brakes all around, front and rear.
Ah, four-wheel discs. That's
Yeah.
a serious upgrade.
It really is. Moving from rear drums to rear discs shows a commitment to handling sustained high-speed use and reducing brake fade. You could push the car harder knowing the brakes are up to it.
And this is also when that slightly odd California coupe option showed up.
That's right. It was mainly for the U.S. market, where some buyers just preferred a fixed hardtop and didn't want the soft top at all.
So what did they do?
They actually removed the entire soft top mechanism and its storage well behind the seats and put in a small fold-down rear bench seat instead. Made it a 2+2 technically, but only with the hardtop fitted permanently. Kind of a neat compromise.
Interesting. Okay, that brings us to the final and maybe the most iconic version, the 280 SL, the one that really nailed the Grand Tourer image.
Definitely the most popular and the most produced. Over 23,000 built from late 67 through 71. This had the final evolution of that inline-six engine block, bored out to 2.8 liters.
The M130 engine, more power.
Yep, up to 170 PS, more torque, too. But getting that extra displacement and power out of the same basic block wasn't simple. It created some serious heat issues.
Ah, right. More power, more heat. How did they manage that? Sounds like more than just a bigger radiator.
Oh, much more. They had to do some pretty significant and complex internal engineering. They actually routed cooling water passages between all the cylinders inside the block and added an engine oil cooler as standard. Required major retooling.
So, a lot of effort to make that 2.8 reliable and durable.
Exactly. It shows that commitment again. And by this time, the perception of the car had really shifted. The 280 SL was seen less as a pure, raw sports car and more as the definitive, comfortable, fast, stylish, and crucially reliable Grand Tourer.
That reputation for being, well, maybe over-engineered in the best way, that solid build quality, it's a huge part of why they're so loved today, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's why people like Jeremy Clarkson on Top Gear would say things like the Pagoda has stood the test of time, coming from an era when Mercedes was still building its cars properly. That resonates.
And that quality and style certainly caught the eye of the rich and famous back then. It became quite the status symbol.
Oh, for sure. The list of high-profile owners is pretty impressive. You've got Walt Disney, the amazing Sophie Loren, Colin Powell owned one. Even John Lennon had a dark blue 6.5 230 SL early on.
Shows the appeal right from the start. And maybe the most famous one in the U.S., Priscilla Presley's.
Yeah, her white 1969 280 SL. It was a gift from Elvis, and now it's on display at Graceland. That really cemented its place in American pop culture, didn't it?
It really did. And that enduring image definitely fuels the market today. You said the average price is around $88,000 now.
Roughly, yeah, for a good example, which is strong, reflecting that usability, style, and reliability.
But like with any classic unique versions or special histories can send prices sky high.
Exactly. Think about the really bespoke stuff. There was that one-off Pininfarina Coupe, a custom-bodied W113 from way back in '63. Just its uniqueness and the Pininfarina connection meant it sold for something like $1.2 million back in 2022.
Wow. Okay, but for collectors looking at the regular production cars, are there specific options that are more desirable now? Besides condition, obviously.
Well, powertrain choice is a big one. While the automatic transmission was really popular, especially in the US for that grand touring feel, the manual gearboxes are highly sought after today.
Which manuals?
There was a standard 4-speed, but the really rare and desirable one is the optional ZF 5-speed manual. It was hardly ever ordered, but it gives the car a much more sporting, engaging feel. Collectors really prize those.
Right, connects you more to that original sporting intent.
Precisely.
So stepping back then, what the Pagoda represents is, well, it's more than just a pretty face or a fast car. It seems like it was this incredibly thoughtful blend of style, performance, and that pioneering safety engineering, built to last.
It really redefined what a luxury sports car could be in the 60s. It prioritized driver safety and comfort right alongside performance, which was quite radical. Remember that quote from the technical director back then, Fritz Nallinger?
Right.
His goal was a very safe and fast sports car with high performance, which despite its sports characteristics provides a very high degree of traveling comfort. That wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate philosophical choice. Engineering, safety, comfort, style, speed, they were all balanced.
A balance that feels maybe different today.
Well, that leads to the final thought for you listening. If that balance defined luxury performance 60 years ago, what's the single element, maybe connectivity, electric range, autonomous features? That seems to be prioritized above almost everything else in performance cars today, sometimes even at the expense of things like simplicity or lightness or maybe even pure driving feel. The Pagoda looks simple, but its priorities were deeply complex, worth thinking about.